January the 28th, we are going to work on our classwork homework. And I'm going to kind of, like I said, do this a drop different. We're still working on surface area. And the first thing we want to do is name each figure. So I'm going to name it first. This one is a rectangular pyramid. Now,
do we have to name it on a test?
Yes.
Oh my.
Okay. I actually put out a Quizlet yesterday that would kind of help you practice naming them. Okay. Now, a rectangular pyramid. All it is this is your rectangle bottom, and as it rolls up, it's kind of like a tent closing a door right here. It's kind of hard to tell. I'm trying to show it on the video, but if you guys will look over here, all it is, this is the bottom, and as the walls touch, I wish you'd kind of look for a second, because these walls, even though they're sticking out, are going to touch which shape?
The square.
The square, because they're all the bottoms of the triangles. Okay, that's going to help in a minute. So let's start out with, I'm going to start out with one color. That one color is going to represent a 5. I know for sure this is 5. I see the 5. Well, I happen to notice that the other side is 5. So it is a square, and it is a 5 by 5. I know these two are also 5 because they're the opposite walls. So, formula is A equals base times height. 5 times 5. 25 centimeters squared. And you guys who are absent, all it is I do usually start with the easy shape first. Write the formula for that shape, filling it in, and completing it, I guess. Okay. Next thing is, I do usually put my number in the middle. It might help later. Okay, so here's the weird part. We got to be able to move the numbers around. Okay, if I know that this wall is 5, then I can kind of, when I fold it up, that wall is 5. They're going to touch. To be honest, you could keep going all the way around if you just like color. That would be 5, and that would be 5, because they would all be touching the square. Now, what is the height? 8. You got it. So that triangle is a 5 by 8, and we got to divide by 2. The formula is base times height divided by 2. I do not think we'll put the formulas on the test. Make sure you know them. The formula, base times height, divided by 2. So it is a 5 by 8 divided by 2. (20 centimeters squared). Okay, now that is just the triangle. Do you think all the triangles are the same? Yes. The only reason I'm allowed to say yes is they would all have the same base of 5. And because they would all come to a point in a pyramid, they would all have the same height because they're all going to that same point in the middle. Okay? So all of them are 20. Luckily, I don't have to work it out again. I can just fill in the other numbers. Last step is SA for surface area starting today. I kind of messed up yesterday. SA. Adding them all up, and yes, you get 105 centimeters squared. Circle that final answer or box it in or something. It's a lot of work for one little problem. It'll be a lot of little points. A lot of little points. Bless you, bless you. It's okay. Okay, the second one here, moving to the right. Okay, I kind of call this thing the tissue box. Okay, It is really called a rectangular prism. Okay, so going into Color World, if this will help you to get the right answer, what I'm going to do is find a number I know for sure. I know for sure that that line is 7. So everything in the same, all the way up, is going to be 7.
It's gonna be 7 by.
Okay. So if you didn't want to use color, you could put 7s all right there. That's up to you. Then, okay, yes, the 3 is right here, and I know the opposite wall would be right there. It's kind of weird. The opposite wall and the opposite wall. And so these are all 3 because of that 3.
So one part would be 3 by 3.
Ah.
One part would be 7 by 3.
That's right. This wall is 3. Now, since it's still 3 is why I'm using orange. Okay. Here's the weird part. And if you, some of y'all see this real easy, but all it is opposites and side by sides. So like this one is an opposite. From here to here is like side by side. They would fold up and touch. This one would fold up and touch. Let me think of how to say this. Okay. Oh, this one is the opposite of that one. This one would fold up and touch. This is the opposite. Fold over and touch. Now, the last one is kind of odd. We don't really know, but if we were to roll it up and fold it up, then the last box would have to be the same 3. So yeah, on this one we're really only working with 2 measurements, which is nice. Okay, so this first box is what I call orange and green. It is 3 and 7. So, luckily I see orange and green as 21. I kind of look at the next box. It's orange and green. Green and orange. Green and orange. So I'm kind of using a color coding if it'll help.
And then it would be 3 times 3.
That is right. So this little box is base times height. It is 3 times 3, which is 9 inches squared. And this one's surrounded in orange, and this one's surrounded in orange. And then the last thing's adding them all up to get SA for surface area. 102. Yeah, 102. Just checking them out. 102 inches squared. Sometimes your worst ones are actually your easiest ones. Yes? How did I get 102? I added up all 4 of these, which was 84, plus 9 plus 9. You got to do what?
You have to add up more than once.
Well, you got to add it up for each box. So whatever's in each box, you got to add up all 6 walls. That's kind of why, I put the numbers inside each box to make sure I don't miss one. Some kids will just fill in one box, but then they will actually forget to do plus 9 again. Okay. Now I'm going to go down to number 3. This is kind of where the rainbow thing kicks in. Here we go. I was talking about with the kids that it almost looks like a rainbow exploded on my paper when we do this. But all it is each number is going to stand like a different color for each number. So if this will help, use it. You don't have to. Okay, here we go. So I see that the bottom is 21. Well, that means any line going across right here is 21. Okay. Now I'm going to do, the next obvious one to me is this one, is the 10, because it's right there. Well, I know the opposite side of that rectangle is also 10. Now, 12 is the height. It's just the height of that triangle. We're only going to use it in the triangle formula, right? Kind of. Okay. What is 13? Sides of what? Yeah. Sides of the what? What's it close to? Triangles, yeah. Listen, I know it's kind of off-center, but listen. It is this wall of the triangle. And it is this wall of the triangle. But the only reason they give it to you, because you don't need it for the triangle. Eddie, why do they give it to you?
On like the side on the rectangle.
Yes. Right here, guys. That 13 has got to be moved down to touch that one. So this 13, same thing. It would reach down and touch this one when we fold it up. You could kind of go across if you're just dying to put a bunch of color on it, and the opposites are 13s also. Okay. So each number is a color. Okay, here we go. Trying to get it all put back together now. So this little box, I'm looking for my numbers. Blue is 13, orange is 21. So it is a 13 by 21. I got 273. So I kind of look around. Is there anything else that is blue and orange? 13 and 21. Yeah, that bottom box, right? So I can just copy it. Now, don't just start throwing numbers, is what I call it. Flinging stuff. Ching, ching, ching. Okay, don't do that. Look at the middle rectangle. Because what are the numbers there?
10 and 21.
10 and 21. Even though it looks the same, this rectangle has a different number. It's yellow and orange. So it is a 10 by 21 or 21 by 10. Which is 210. You can't trust a picture. You can only trust a number. So now I'm going to look at this triangle flap. It has to be base and height. Base and height have to be at a 90-degree angle. The only place there is a 90 is like right there. So my base is 10 and my height is 12. 10, 12. You don't want the length of the side, you want the height. So, okay, so my triangle is 60. It's kind of hard to write it in there, but I'm going to do it anyway. And my other triangle is 60, because they'd be the opposite ends. adding them all up for surface area. Surface area equals, SA equals 876, is that what you got? Y'all, 876 centimeters squared. Whew. 876 centimeters squared. I mean, it's a lot of math. It's a lot of just little stuff.
Will this be a rectangular
Which one?
the one we're doing now?
This one? Or that one? That one? Okay, that one is a triangular prism because the end flaps are triangles. So let me show you. It's like this. Okay? And as I fold it up, those end flaps are flat on each end, like a tissue box flat. Okay? And it's not a, since it doesn't come to a point, it's not a pyramid. Okay. Now, number 4 is a triangular pyramid. It has the base of a triangle, and all these corners would fold up to a point to make a pyramid. Ooh. Okay, now this triangle, you can see they're all triangles. This little line right here, it's kind of hard to see. And this little line and this little line mean they're all the same. And they are what number? 20. Okay, so all those little lines are 20. My height is 15, and it's way over here, but sometimes you just kind of have to find it. Okay, so that triangle is, and basically like, when it folds up, they would all touch and all be 20s all the way around. So luckily it's just one triangle that we got to do the formula for. $20 times 15, 300. Got 150 millimeters squared. Okay, now 150 is one triangle. What should I do with the rest?
Do the same.
Same thing. Only because they're all going to be the same all the way around on that shape. So, 150, either add it 4 times or times 4 is 600 millimeters squared. Make sure you're putting SA, capital SA. SA, surface area. And every class has made it this far. Should have the front of the worksheet done. The back is where some of us made it to part of number 5. One class made it to part of number 6. So here we go. Number 5. Okay. And like I've said 100 times, listen, it's kind of silly, but we keep doing the same shape over and over. That's why if you do your homework, by the time you get to the test, you're like, oh, I've seen this before. Okay. This shape is a triangular prism. Okay. This one does have a lot of decimals, so just take it slow. Here we go. Okay. If this one, I just happen to see that this one is 8.2. Well, that means this one's 8.2, this one's 8.2, and this one's 8.2, because they're the same exact length all the way down. Is this helping some of you by doing it by color? maybe. It's just different. I mean, you can do it by shape, whatever you want to do. Okay, on this one, I see that this wall is 7.8. So, I know that this wall would have to be 7.8. Okay. I see that the outside of this triangle is 5.4. Well, why do we need that number? For the side of the rectangle, we're going to move it over. That would touch right there. And if that side's 5.4, we know the bottom is the same. So they didn't give us a different number, which means that would be the same. We could do opposites, like this opposite wall and that opposite wall. We could say opposite flaps. That's why that's pink. And that's why that's pink. And then the height of the triangle is 9.7. And listen, heights are different than lengths of sides. I know they look the same, but they are different. Okay, so one shape at a time. This top box is a rectangle with the formula of A equals BH. It is an 8.2 times 5.4. Pink is 5. Yeah, pink is 5.4. Okay. Please don't drop decimals. Make sure you type them in. And I got 44.28. Yeah. I'm going back. Centimeter squared. Jump the gun there. Okay, so pink and orange, 44.28. Ooh, I noticed this one. This one is also pink and orange. Only because the numbers are the same. It's not because I wanted to just look at it. The middle rectangle is what? What is that shape? And what numbers apply to it? 8.2. So 7.8 and 8.2. .96. Okay. Now, we need a perfect 90. Honestly, they drew it right there. So I know my base is 7.8 and my height is 9.7. So, doing the triangle, base is in blue at 7.8. Height is 9.7 divided by 2. Divide by 2. Make sure I got that right. 37.83 centimeters squared. Okay. And that is each triangle is 37.83. 37.83. So adding it all up for surface area, SA. Watch those decimals and make sure you get them in the calculator right. Uh-huh. What? Uh-huh. 228.18. I got 228.18 centimeters squared. I was right. Okay, Noah should be packing up. There's 15 minutes left. Yes. It sounds like you may have skipped a number. Try it again. So you got to add up all 5 shapes.
Oi.
2 triangles, 37.83. Guys, go ahead and do the next one. If you're ahead of me, do it.
They're the same height.
They do. 9.7.
No one has.
Stop. Please keep going. Do the next one. Get ahead of me if you're waiting on me. Even if you're finished, because you did go ahead of me, just keep it out so we can check it. That's all I ask. Okay. Right. A lot of these are the same. Sometimes we remember to change numbers, and sometimes we don't. So here we go. On this one, I'm noticing that this is 7.4. Oh, yeah. Rectangular prism. Okay, I'm noticing that this one is 3.1. So I know my opposite is 3.1. Okay, now trying to get some of the other numbers. This flap right here would touch that flap to make it 3.1. The opposite flap would be 3.1. Like that flap and that flap would be the same. Okay? Now, this one would be the same because those two would touch. Going across the shape, this one would be the same as this one because they're kind of like opposites. This one would touch this one. And then my opposites again would be that one. Okay. I still see a 5 out there. Okay, that 5 is this end, which is 5 right there. So going across, these are all 5s. Well, if one flap is the height of 5, when we fold it up, to be honest, this flap would all be 5 also. So you got to watch the numbers because these boxes are not all the same. It's like 2, 2, and 2 again. So the top box. You got 22.94. Okay, and that is orange and pink. Orange and pink. I look down here. This box is orange and pink. It is a 7 by 3.1. So it is also 22.94. This box is orange and green, meaning it is 7.4 for orange and green is 5. 37. And since that one's orange and green and that one's orange and green, yeah, Aubrey?
This is the exact same one that we have here.
Yes. Yeah, it is the same. It just, we forgot to change the numbers, I guess. Okay, this one is a 5, 1 second, I'm doing that one. 5 by pink is 3.1. So, $15.5. $15.5. It's kind of hard to write. 15.5. Okay, so making sure you add it twice. My surface area, SA, is 150.88, centimeters squared. Okay, I'm going to go to number 8 just in case we run out of time, but I'm going to be honest. I've helped every class with this one. It says the word, it is a gift box, and it is in the shape of a cube. Guys, what do you know about a cube? It's a square, and all the sides are equal the same, so they're all 20. So if I have a square that is 20 by 20. 20 times 20 is 400. Now, here is the thing. That is one square on a cube. How many squares are on a cube? How many walls? 6. There's 2 here, 2 here, and then 2 here. 6. So we got to do basically 400 times 6. 2,400 centimeters squared. And that would be surface area. Listen, that one's really, that's one that's kind of like, we should be able to think through, I guess. Okay, I'm going to keep going if y'all stick with me. Number 7 is a little weirdly drawn. I think our whiteout went a little crazy. Yes.
I see number 6.
It's with 150.88. Uh-huh.
So for number 7, I was gonna say, so those the line out 5 and 13 and stuff, and when it says 15, so would it be 15, 15, 15, 15, and then 13, 13, 13, 13?
No, I don't think. Let's see. Okay, I need you to watch because this one is, it is drawn correctly, but I'm scared you're going to put the numbers in the wrong place. Okay, 15, this 15 is this line, which means this wall. And the opposite wall would be 15. Okay. Now, 14 stands for what? Okay, notice the arrows right here, guys. It's like a dotted line that they accidentally ran out of ink. That means 14 is this amount. It's those two walls. Okay, right. We should kind of be seeing 13 is inside a triangle with a dotted line and a little 90. So 13 is the height of the triangle. Now, the height in pyramids. All the pyramids are going to be the same. Now, I'm worried because some of you have gone ahead of me. I really hope you look at your work and check it, because this one's almost a tricker. Okay, if I do this triangle, the base of it is orange at 15, the height is 13. Which is 195. Okay. Divided by 2, 97.5. Now, that is the only triangle. The only one that applies for is ones that are orange and blue. Meaning, this one, 97.5. Now, all of these would have the same blue line, right? So do y'all see if that one's 97.5? That one's 97.5. But for the first time, we're seeing a triangle with different measurements. Look at the top triangle. The base is yellow. The base is 14. And my height is 13. Divide by 2. Okay, so this triangle is 91. This one's also yellow and blue. It is 91. Now the last thing is this middle squarey rectangle object. Okay, we know a rectangle, base times height. We know that its walls are 14 by 15. 210. So it's kind of like the middle box is now 210. Surface area, adding them all up, making sure you do 2 of each of the triangles. Kind of like y'all to leave this on your desk. I just want to see something. That was a weird one, guys.
Oh, that dude. Oh, my God. I hate it. It's so stupid. I got orange. We got orange.
Try not to go too fast. Try not to go too
Actually,
slow.
I haven't even done any of these. This guy still makes us do 3.
Good.
Oh, no.
Good.
We did 3.
feel wrong.